Welcome back to the big stories on the AM show. That's what we call this segment as we delve into the hard issues. And first on the chopping board, the minority has called on government to allow an independent probe into the cocaine and money laundering allegations raised by the ranking member of the committee, Rev.Ntim Fordjour, emphasizing the gravity of the issue and the need for accountability and transparency. But like I asked in the morning, what is fact, what is fiction, or is it faction? This morning, we have an engagement with the Narcotics Control Commission. Joining us, lawyer Twum Barimah. He's Deputy Director, Narcotics Control Commission. Sweetie.
Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, madam.
I've been browsing your website, and I must say that it's quite easy to navigate. And so let's start from a very general question. You say that with unwavering determination, you are at the forefront of curbing drug abuse, forging a path towards a healthier, safer Ghana. I just read that from your website.
Yeah.
How is it going?
Well, greetings to your viewers. It's not been that easy, looking at the fact that people are hiding behind the curtains, selling illicit drugs, especially the now popular red, or as they call it. And as we know, the effect on our youth is just becoming too much. But we haven't relaxed on our efforts. We are going after them. Not long ago, I think about a week or so ago, we sent a team from here to Bibiani and Miasubakwai in the Western North region to go and apprehend some persons with our intel had it that they were selling this bread to, people. They were running let me say, Lance's chemical shop or something. So we are going after them gradually. Our intel are on several regions, and as and when we make sure that, we get further in full details, we strike.
Right. And just for purposes of education, for the benefit of our audience, we know that you're no longer a board, it's a commission.
Yes,
which means you now have more investigative powers rather than just policy direction and all that. So exactly what do you... So let's educate the public before we get into the hard issues. Exactly what does NACOC do?
So NACOC, if you look at the act, this is the act right before me here, 1019, the Narcotic Control Commission Act 2020. Section 3 of the act tells you the functions of the commission. And the function is that we coordinate activities relating to the arrest and investigation of offenses connected with the production, processing, and trafficking of narcotic drugs, or plants, and the illicit production, processing, and trafficking of precursors. And then the B will tell that on the authority of the Attorney General, we prosecute offenses under this act. And also the C will tell that we take measures to, one, eliminate the import and export by land, water bodies, or air, narcotic drugs, narcotic plants, and precursors for illicit purposes, to secure, in collaboration with the relevant competent authority where necessary, the coastal landing sites of fishermen against the import and export of narcotic drugs, among others. It's quite a lot.
Yeah. So
these are some of the functions of Narcotic Control Commission. We can arrest you. We can detain you by ourselves. When we arrest you, we don't give you to the police to detain you. We have our own cells and everything that we detain you at. We have our legal team that, as the law rightly indicated, that liaises with the Attorney General to do the prosecutions on our behalf on cocaine matters, heroin, and every other narcotic that you can think of.
All right. Ben.
Well, there are critical issues that we're going to have to contemplate on these matters. Of course, there was that BBC documentary in recent times as well, highlighting some other drugs. I don't know whether you have any idea what the follow-ups have been from the FDA in respect of, the tramadol,
the red,
tafradol. You mentioned red, but I'm looking at the composite of them.
Okay. So, we do all. I think not too long after my assumption of office, we went to Tamaport. There was this 40-feet container or so. And
you've been in office, by the way, for about, 3 weeks?
Just about 3 weeks, yeah. And I think it was just, I resumed on Friday, so the Monday right after, that was when we went to the Tamaport.
I see.
Yeah. So there was this container which we were told that is transiting to Niger. And it was, in full of this tramadol or this red tabs that we intercepted. But the sad part of it is that when you pick, let's say, a sachet or a pack of that tablets, you only see that you don't find the actual manufacturer. You only see made in India. But you and I know very well that India, even Ghana, is very big. Even though our land size, if you look at the map, you say it's a very small country. But Ghana is very big. So if somebody tells you that this thing is made in Ghana, which part of Ghana was this made in? Which company in Ghana, which producer in Ghana produced that particular tablet or whatever? Yet, because of the fact that they know that whatever they are doing is wrong or is against the law, they try to hide their actual identity and just go into mass production of these things. And unfortunately, we will get people who will go into this and trade in them.
And I was just about to get to that because if you look at the BBC Africa, expose, it mentions, that specific entity and the purported outlet in Ghana. So I guess they are learning. Now they are deciding not to use any labeling, but that also contravenes our laws.
Of course it does. Because whenever you produce something, I mean, these phones that we are carrying, when you pick it, you know that it's made by Apple. And Apple is a company, well-known company that you know. You don't need any other thing, to prove it. So if you know you are doing a genuine thing, the right thing, as you are sitting here, your institution's logo is showing right on your media, on the screens, showing that this is where we are. So if you are doing the right thing, why are you then hiding your identity? But it's because you know whatever you are doing is against the law, and you know it's wrong. Yet you decide to do it because of your so-called benefit in terms of cash. That is why you are hiding your identity, yet, getting yourself involved in the wrong act. But
Alex, the key point I'm making then is once you have loopholes in your system, criminals will want to take advantage of those and make money out of that. How are you collaborating with the other state agencies to put a stop to this? Our youth are getting exposed to these hard drugs, and who knows what the after effects will be.
You are very right. Not long ago, the Youth Development Ministry, led by Minister Pariado, they had a program which I was invited to be one of the speakers. And it was all part of the collaborations that we want to collaborate with other agencies or other sectors in order to fight this canker. We are already teamed up with the national security because we are part of the security setup. We are teamed up with our colleagues with the now NIB, formerly BNI, the police, among others. So we are going all out. If you go to the port, we have our men at the port working together with the national security, the port securities, among other people. If you come to the airport as well, we are also there working alongside national security, BNI or NIB, and other sister agencies to ensure that every other loophole, as we mentioned, that is being created by these hooligans or criminals, we can get to see it and then fight it as well.
It's interesting that you mentioned the airport because you are tempting me to go into the Rev.Ntim Fordjour situation. I mean, if there's nothing else you want to add on dealing with...
No, it's fine. It's fine. We can move.
Right. How long have you had the authorities at the airport stationed? I know it's basic protocol, but how long have they been there since the inception since the inception of this administration's work at the airport? What has been the security framework at the airport?
But airport security has basically got nothing to do with the government. I mean, because there's a change in government, you put off. No, it's just the leadership that may change at some point. But every other activity, operations, or duties that you perform, it's continuous. It doesn't end up.
I don't dispute that. You missed my point. When there's a transition, when there's a change in government, some officials like you have changed.
Of course, right? Yes. That's what I'm saying, that the leaders.
When you mentioned NIB and you mentioned NACOC and your collaborations, I'm saying from that perspective, not airport security as in the airport. From the national security perspective, how have things flowed from the transitional period through the 7th of January till now? That's what I'm asking.
It's been very smooth because we have always been there working together. Yeah.
Before Rev.Ntim Fordjour came out with these comments, were you aware of this AirMed flights, the 2 flights that he spoke about? Was national security aware of it?
Okay, so when I resumed office, we were prompted of a kind of search, let me put it in that simple term, that was about to go on at the airport on a particular aircraft.
You know which aircraft?
Oh, is the... 1 second. It's the very flight that Ntim Fordjour mentioned in his letter.
Okay.
Let me get his letter so that I can read it well. There's a letter that he issued. I'm sure you have seen that he was inviting us to Parliament, yeah. And he mentioned the Kavok Air and Antonov AN-12B. Yeah, so it was that particular flight. So funny enough, I was assigned by the Director General to go and be with our people, our men, as they do their work. And I can say here that the work was not done by NACOC alone. It was done by NACOC, it was done by Customs, the National Security, the BNI, and even the AFSEC, the Aviation Security. They were also there. Funny enough, little did I know that something is going to come up from Ntim Fordjour. And because it was my very first exercise, my brother, I did something for myself by taking about 24 seconds video of the aircraft. So that's it.
Our viewers will not be able
to see it's just for you.
And I'm lowering your volume because...
Oh, of course. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so that's
it. So you can
zoom in. Okay, so Antonov 1-2
B. Correct.
Right.
So you can see our men standing there. So we did all our checks on this flight, and it was.
And this was prior to Ntim Fordjour.
Oh no! Well, this is like, what's the is it? I think it was 3 weeks or so ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was prior to his message or his information. So we did all our checks, and everything turned out to be negative. But prior to that, we had already...
What negative means?
Negative means, there was nothing bad or that means, for instance, cocaine or whatever on board.
So what was on board?
Nothing. It was not anything that needed the agencies to arrest or apprehend or do anything. You understand? So once we did it with our K9, dogs, once they came in, went in, we took 2 dogs that day to the scene or to the tarmac. One after the other, they took the dogs inside. The first one entered with our officials, they did the scanning, came out. The second one also entered, did the scanning, and then came out. After we were done and we didn't find anything, we leave, and then the other people also continue, with their route. So I left, I think I left there around, if I'm not mistaken, around by 10 or 9 something.
PM?
No, AM. It was in the morning, very early in the morning. Okay. Yeah. So, and then we left. Only for us to come another time or to hear our brother Ntim Fordjour alleging that this particular aircraft came with, I don't know whether he's saying it came with cocaine or it came to pick cocaine. Which is which?
He's saying that it may have been used as a conduit, either to deliver...
But you see, this is where he makes the things even, muddy for himself. I know him to be a ranking member on the committee that my agency falls under.
He is the ranking member?
He is. I've appeared before that committee not long ago, I think about 2 weeks ago. And he was there. But he even took time out to congratulate me. Okay? So...
To congratulate you on what?
Oh, on my appointment. Oh. As Deputy Director General. Yeah. So it's very sad that someone of his caliber, let's assume that all that you are saying is true, and you have this information. You didn't even need the media in the first place. As a ranking member, you know whom to contact. You know whom to liaise with. You would have just called either the National Security Coordinator or even the Interior Minister who is a colleague. Because he oversees all these agencies. And then give him the information and then ensure that the right actions are taken.
Was that any breach in protocol?
No, but you are talking about security matters. Assuming this thing is true and maybe the thing was even delivered, because now you cannot even tell whether it was delivered or it was taken away. You cannot tell us which is which. But let's even take the first option, that maybe they were delivering. People who were taking these things, certain things need to be sealed first to be able to trace them and get them arrested. Once you expose it, they also get alerts.
Sweetie Abachi will be coming in shortly, but just a quick one. You've spoken about the Antonov flight. How about the Ahmed, the other one? I know of this. You don't know of this? I know of this. And you see, the very sad part of it is that yesterday, even this morning, I think the person sent a message yesterday, but it was this morning that I watched very early in the morning as I was preparing to come. I realized that he was on Paul Adamu Otri's show. And then he was showing a white aircraft. Supposedly, that is supposed to be the air ambulance. And then when Paul queried him, is it the aircraft? He said, oh, this is how the aircraft is supposed to be, so this is not the actual aircraft. I thought you said you have information that we don't have. As I've shown you the actual aircraft that I took. But he gave you the flight numbers, right?
No. You see, the way he is talking, if I were him, you should go beyond what he is saying. I have given you further evidence here. Which is undoubted. If you look at what I showed you and what Felix showed to the entire country, it's the same. The same aircraft.
Mr. Twum Barimah, so you're saying that you checked this aircraft, took this 20-something seconds
24
video,
seconds video, yeah.
Weeks before Rev.Ntim Fordjour came out
Yes,
with
yes.
that.
I mean, he came out, I think, last week, right?
Yes.
Is that right? Last week?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
So as part of your mandate, you do control and enforcement, which is why I wanted to specify that it is within your purview to do that. So when he came out with this presser, alleging that this is a conduit to either take cocaine in or bring it in, you know, take it out or bring it in, why didn't your outfit respond and say, we have indeed conducted a search and we didn't find anything? Why do you let it go on and spiral into a national issue where we have international communities saying that we should take it seriously? If you had these pieces of evidence, as you're saying, why did you wait this long?
Okay, so you see, since the flight upon it being checked, there was nothing positive on it, but everything was negative. There's no need to communicate anything.
No,
there's no need to communicate anything.
The Reverend pointed to
his point that he's saying is baseless. You see, I don't want to be very hard on him. He's baseless. He's baseless person that I have been a police officer before, and I'm a lawyer. You don't just come out and start putting things out there without substantiating everything that you are saying. You said that everything. Even this one, as I was coming, I saw on the front page of I think Daily Guide also that the video that Felix showed is staged. So where is the video that contradicts what Felix showed? Are you able to prove to us or to give us anything? The answer is no. So, and then you are taking everybody, I mean, on this kind of rampage or
exactly.
I mean,
so the question really
because we are entertaining him. I mean, that's how I see it. Okay. Sorry, but that's how I see it.
It's okay. So the question is, why let it go on?
No,
you have evidence. Someone comes out to say, we suspect that a case like this is happening.
You suspect what?
That's cocaine.
The moment
it's been smuggled.
It's not true.
Exactly. So
because he has not proven anything. You see,
calm down and let's have this conversation.
When he said that, the president immediately came out and said, I've instructed the national security and I mean all these institutions, including ours, that they should,
you had this.
Relax. And that they should liaise with him. Or collaborate with him, or he should collaborate with us, for us, I mean, to give us every information, and then we should also conduct investigation into the matter. We have our report already on any aircraft that we have searched. The report is there, but you are saying something contrary to what we are saying. We have already, gotten to know, and the law is that he who alleges must prove. You are the one saying things, so you must give us things that goes beyond what we have heard, we have seen, or we know. But to the best of my knowledge, I have not seen or heard anything of that sort.
Okay. So people are starting to say that Ghana, or we've had the drug problem in the past, and they're saying that that time is coming back. And for your outfit that is supposed to control narcotics, abuse, all of it, you have a member of parliament saying that they are suspecting something like this happening, in addition to some drug busts that we are seeing here and there. Would it be terribly wrong to tell the Ghanaian population that we've heard what the Reverend Minister is saying or the Member of Parliament is saying, but to bring finality and calmness and clarity to this matter, we indeed conducted a search? I put it to you that because you didn't immediately respond with the evidence that you had, that is why it aspiraled into the situation we have here today.
No, I disagree. I am not of the opinion that it's because we are entertaining him. That is why he's going on. I mean, that's
what are you calling entertaining?
Oh, yeah, because he's just all over. Today he's on this platform. The other day, the next day he'll be here. The next day he'll be there, and then he's getting. And to be honest with you, if you track him, I have seen him in about, I think, 3 or so platforms that I've listened to. His message is not the same.
Okay.
But my point is very simple. If you say that Ghana is becoming, I mean, more or less the hub for drug. The very time we got to know this, I'm going to read a report to you, which was, published not by any other outfit, by your own outfit. This is Nigeria Online. Ghana identified as transit country for drugs trafficking. British High Commission indicates. This was June 28th, 2022. Published by Nigeria Online.
I'll throw the baton back to Ben in a bit. The point I'm trying to make, or the question I'm asking, really, is how do you combat misinformation and disinformation? Isn't it with the correct information? So this man is making these allegations.
Yeah, but you see, and you
now
the point is that every
coming out to say that
every information.
Let her make it.
That's fine. Sorry.
Yeah, Yeah. So I'm saying that this person is saying something you just said it's baseless, suspicions out of nowhere. But you have the correct information that will silence this once and for all.
But government spokesperson or the one who speaks for the executive, we are part of the executive. Every other state apparatus is part of the executive.
But as NACOC,
we are part of the executive. NACOC is part of the executive. We have come out to communicate through the government minister of communication. And he says that everything that he has said is false. Which means he doesn't believe anything from anybody. So my point is very simple. Since all that we are saying is not true, no problem. Where is the truth? We have shown video. Where is your video contradicting what we showed? Give it to us to make our own false, to make our claims false. We have not seen any. In fact, I was even feeling that yesterday when he went to Paul Admoti's show, maybe he was taking a video to the place. But what I saw them doing was, giving us flight itinerary. Do we care about that?
Okay. And before I go back to Ben in a bit, is it possible?
Yes.
That all this could turn out to be true? That indeed this flight, Airmed and the other one, came into the country and offloaded drugs before you went on? Because these arguments pouring out.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know because what I know
because of the time that the video started coming in.
Which video?
It's the videos that you're now showing, the video that Phyllis Kwachifosu and even the allegations that the pictures that he's posting is not really the Airmed that we're talking about. Because you look at the till number. I can pull that up.
Sorry.
Phyllis Kwachifosu posted a photo on his social media.
Yes.
That's the aircraft that's landed in the country. And they're trying to prove that there was some inspection going on over there. But when you look at the tail end of the ambulance, hopefully I can pull it up in a bit.
Okay.
It's different from the one that is in question.
But have you seen the one in question?
We have the number.
No,
right?
No. You see, don't get it wrong. That number that you are seeing or you'll be hearing is not a number that is written on the aircraft.
Right.
Okay? The flight number is not written on the aircraft. It's generated.
Okay.
Okay? So if I tell that my flight number is KL275, it's not written on the aircraft that this is KL275. And Ntim Fordjour has not shown any aircraft.
Actually, that's an argument. Yeah.
Exactly. Today, this morning, I have the link here. His show or his program with Paul Admoti's. When they were showing an aircraft, he said, "Oh, that is not the exact aircraft, but that is how it's supposed to be." Are we serious?
Ntim Fordjour in his first presser said it was possible,
Yes,
that the country was being used as a conduit for drugs or maybe money laundering, among others. Then subsequently, he said pretty categorically that these things were happening. There was talk about from Phyllis Kwachifosu that he had been invited, to assist in the investigations, and then later, the Reverend Honorable, Member of Parliament.
I like the way you are taking your time to call his.
Said that there had been no such invitation. I just want to know the status of that because this is crucial to our national security.
So the status of what exactly?
That invitation. Did he get that invitation? Did he not get that invitation? If not, is he going to be invited in any way, shape, or form?
Okay. All right. So the first point is whether or not he had. You made a statement that he said here Ghana has become a possible point of money laundering and then drugs.
So in the first presser,
yes,
he expressed possibility. Then following that, he became more categorical.
Okay. So on that point, I've noted your point. On that point, what I can say is that the era that Ghana started suffering from that was during their time.
You mean
under, I can say,
under Kufuor? That's what
under Kufuor's government, especially. The Kufuor is...
But even before that, you remember the incident?
Benjamin and Kora.
Yes.
So, those ones, at least we have been able to deal with it. So you let's be...
But the erstwhile NDC administration also had its issues.
But that's something that we have dealt with them. But let's talk about the immediate one that we just, took over from. Under their time, my brother, they were not even pronouncing or even making known cases of drug that they were even dealing with. They were hiding it. I'm saying this on authority.
And that was a point I was about to get to.
Okay,
are we seeing these now? Because, but you make your point.
You see, we are a security and intelligence institution, my brother. It's not everything that we say.
Okay.
We are, per our law, NACOC is a security and intelligence organization. So we don't just come out and start talking. We don't do that. All right? But now he's pushing us, to come into the arena. The time was your time. I just read a news story published by your own institution saying that Ghana became ABCD, and that in 2022, I wasn't in government in 2022. It was your government. All right? So if the country became that, it was through you. Not too long ago, we have arrested this Nigerian guy. That Monday that I said we went to the harbor. That was the day the guy was arrested.
Which one are you referring?
A Nigerian guy, a Nigerian national.
The 2.1 million.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. I just wanted you to clarify which
that,
one.
yeah,
Exactly.
that one. If you look at the lifestyle of that gentleman, it tells you that this is someone who has, lived in this country for years. How come all his dealings was not seen by your government? How? Meanwhile, people around him, people who were cooperating or coordinating with him, some of them were arrested and have even been jailed. But the main, the king of all was left to be moving in this country. He had a whole 4-bedroom house that was made the storage point of cocaine.
I do know that in other jurisdictions, sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes even decades to track one personality who may be at the head of a drug ring and all of that. Since coming into office, have you noted that maybe there were any investigations into such a person before you can say that nothing was done?
I've not noted that. Anyway, that is the answer I can give you. But to move faster to the issue of his invitation or not. Like I said earlier, looking at his position as a ranking member, he doesn't even need invitation in the first place. If I were him, looking at the kind of avenues that you have, like I said, you could have just walked into the office of Honorable Muntaka or call him. You can go to the National Security Coordinator straightforward without any appointment being booked or whatever for you, because you're a ranking member.
Maybe because of our polarized political atmosphere, he felt the best way was to
go to the media with sensitive security matters. Let's assume that
would you call that reckless?
It is. It is absolutely reckless because, listen, we need to, these people that you are talking about, you are mentioning these cases because you want us to go after them and arrest them. If it's true that they came in or they delivered anything, this is against the law and they need to be arrested. Now, based on this numerous media engagement that you have done, do you think if it is true that they came to deliver anything to somebody here in this country, that person is waiting for us to come arrest him? The person will be normal. I was once a police officer. So when it comes to these things, I understand it better. Nobody will be sitting in his house waiting for you to add. I know that this thing that they're talking about is my case. And the person will be sitting there waiting for you to come and arrest me tomorrow. He will. So
in other words, you call it reckless because by his actions, he could have compromised
exactly.
any of the actions you would have done.
Exactly. That is why reasonably, as a ranking member, you should have just called your colleagues or, go to the agency that you think needs to know this. And immediately investigation should have been, would have commenced. If you need something that we don't know, we are not God to know everything that is happening in this country. We rely on our people, we rely on intelligence, we rely on investigations. So if there is something happening, and maybe the Honorable Member of Parliament knows that we don't know, you can know because you are a ranking member of the Defense and Interior Committee.
He says he also had intelligence. That's why he also put those things out.
And your intelligence didn't tell you that, or you didn't inform you that as a ranking member, relate to the intelligence organization to pick it up and then investigate. Oh. But rather to sit and then give the information out in the media and expect us to go and chase the air now.
Just by extension, just briefly, on the legal, framework of things, the operators of these flights, right, could they take us on in any shape or form on the back of some of these allegations? It
depends. Well, if I'm not holding brief for them, but if it happens that they take it serious, that maybe the honorable member is making allegations against them that they know very well it's not true, they can take him on. They can take him on. That one is
as an individual.
Sorry?
Him as an individual.
Oh, of course. He's the one who has come to say things about them. About their aircraft, which can be or may not be. So if they think that whatever somebody is saying about them looking at their corporate image and every other thing, they want to go after the person. They can do that. I mean, but that one is left to them and their
It lies in their bosom. It's a private entity. Before Sweetie comes in, just a quick follow-up. You were talking about the invitation or no invitation. I just want clarity. You say that no one should have even invited him. He should have volunteered.
Ordinarily, yes.
What is the real state? Is there any invitation? Is he going to, have you interacted with him? Is he going to collaborate with you to get to the bottom of this matter?
Okay, so personally, or would have end as NACOC, we have no. But what I knew or what I know is that the National Security Coordinator was coordinating the team that was going to investigate the matter since the president issued a directive. And I knew very well that he was going to be, asked to appear before us and give us every information. Because that's the starting point of every investigation. The one who is saying whatever must first appear before you, give you every information that he has or she has. And based on that, persons that need to be called, agencies that needs to be called, will then be called afterwards. So that is supposed to be the starting point. I've heard him saying on other platforms that even if we invite him, he will not appear. And that we can come. In fact, even last Saturday, he was saying that we should come and arrest him on your station. Is it Newsfar?
But there had also been some claim that he could be arrested.
Oh, of course. I said it this morning on the platform that the way he's going about these things, he will leave us with no option than to go after him. Since you don't
go after him in which sense?
As in arrest you.
He's a member of parliament.
Well,
he has certain.
We know. I mean, the protocols will be followed. That I like the word. It's a privilege. It's not a right.
All right.
Right. Still on Rev.Ntim Fordjour, but the main issue really is that 350 million cocaine bust in March.
Oh, is it the one?
No, the one in is it Pedu? Yeah, Pedu Junction.
Okay, that one was coming from Western.
Right.
And then we arrested in Central.
That's there. I know that the two suspects were supposed to be in court on the 2nd of this month. 2nd
of
April, yes. Okay. Have they had their day?
No, that prosecution is being done by BNI, not us.
Okay, great.
So
NIB.
NIB.
So, thank you, NIB.
What's the latest information we have on this? Because we know that a series of investigations were conducted. We went to his house, recovered some 13 more bags and all that. What is it? Because
which one are you making reference to?
This same case, Rev.Ntim Fordjour is alleging that an NDC member of, an NDC member of parliament or an NDC member is involved. And
NDC member of parliament?
No, yes, an NDC parliamentary candidate. And he's involved. And he has about $150 million in part of that cocaine bust, which is like 3.3 tons, of cocaine.
Which one is it? Is it the Central Region one?
Yes, Pedu Junction.
And that he mentioned.
Ntim Fordjour says.
Relax, please, I just want to get it right.
Okay.
He mentioned that an NDC parliamentary candidate.
Yes.
Who is that person?
He didn't give us a name.
You see,
but said that I asked for updates first, and then we can get into the details.
No, but I've told you that that matter is being handled. The prosecution is being done by the BNI,
right?
So the NIB,
right?
So they can speak to that part. Whether or not.
So you do not know whether or not these two suspects have had their day in court.
You know what I'm saying? It is being done by NIB, and I'm not with the NIB.
But it was a joint operation. You updated as and when something happens.
What we did for them was to confirm that the thing was indeed cocaine.
Okay.
But the arrest and the detention of the exhibit itself was done by NIB.
Okay.
Yeah, so they also can speak to it.
Now we have a member of parliament alleging that it is an NDC. The ruling government has some people in there who are involved in this.
Permit me to quote what Ntim Fordjour said, and then you can respond to it. He says, it was an NDC parliamentary candidate who owns that $150 million. Mind you, it's $350 million.
It says $350 million.
Out of it, it was an NDC parliamentary candidate who owns that $150 million bit of the cocaine. So when we are bringing these exposés, it is expected that the NDC will be so uncomfortably frustrated and in their attempt would just come at my person. But I am not perturbed about that. This is quoting him.
Hold on. The thing is 350, but you are quoting 150.
Yes, he's saying that out of it.
Yeah.
Out of the 350,
a portion of 150 million.
150 is for an NDC
parliament.
Are you saying you've not listened to Rev.Ntim Fordjour on these allegations?
No, but how? No, wait. How did he get to know that the 150 million part of the cocaine is for an NDC candidate? Because the thing was arrested in bulk.
I'm sure Ntim Fordjour's response would be intelligence.
This thing is getting... Okay. You see, that's what I'm saying, that he will leave us with no option than to arrest him. Because this kind of thing that he's saying, I don't get it. All NDC parliamentary candidates they have names. Who is that candidate? Where is he? Which constituency did he or she contest?
Why can't you tell us this?
But he does say at the end, he says we should expect them to say worse things. That
Yes,
is
but who?
The NDC. But this is where it gets interesting. He says there will be further things that will be released to the public.
We are waiting for
So you say he should come to the appropriate authorities.
Oh.
He says he's going to release more things to the public.
No, yes. So you see, he has decided to deal with the public and not to deal with the agencies. He preferred that he can be, washing his dirty linens to the public instead of meeting the appropriate agencies who can do arrests, who can do investigations, who can do prosecutions. He doesn't want them to do it. He wants the general public who cannot go and arrest to rather hear the matter. That's why I keep telling you that he will give us no option than to arrest him. Because this thing that he's doing, I don't get it.
At the risk
These
of
are
sounding
sensitive issues. But the way you are training them out there, you are even going to make investigations about this matter. It's even difficult. Who does that?
when you say that he must be arrested, we will arrest him, it sounds as if we can't blow whistles anymore in the country. When someone says he has intelligence, and then he comes to, yes, perhaps his approach was wrong, a presser, maybe he could have gone to the appropriate authorities, and then this would have been done without blowing it in a public space like this. But be that as it may, he has made these allegations. International communities are also weighing in on the conversation, saying we should take this seriously. As we speak, what are you saying to us right now in terms of all these allegations that Rev.Ntim Fordjour is making? Add the 350 million one to it. What is the status? What are you telling us right now? That these are all fabricated lies? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. He didn't bring out the 350. It was arrested by us and published in the media.
Yes,
and
now he's saying that it is members of the ruling government are involved.
The matter was the people were arrested on their way to Accra, not Ntim Fordjour's intelligence. The BNI and NACOC did their work in Central Region, arrested them, and made it known to the media or to the public through the media.
I want us to step away from Rev.Ntim Fordjour for a second and tell us the most updated information you have on all these busts, right? To bring some sort of clarity to the matter. So
what I know is that the 350 million worth of cocaine which was arrested in the Central Region, it was on its way from the Western, heading towards Accra. At Central Region or in Central Region, they were arrested. Persons who were, on board of the vehicle are definitely going to be the initial suspects. So they were arrested. They were detained by the BNI. Sorry, I keep saying BNI. They are named, they have to go back to the BNI.
Right.
They are arrested by the NIB. And then alongside, in collaboration with us or our men in the central part of the country. And then the item was tested, and indeed we got to know that it was cocaine. The value normally, based on our work, we were able to ascertain its value.
Okay.
So the value was ascertained, and then we got to know that it's worth about $350 million. Okay. I know that the parties have not been released, and they are under investigations as well as prosecution. So that's what I can say in regards to that. And I can say here that it has got nothing to do with Ntim Fordjour. It was our work that we were doing ordinarily or originally. He is just going on fishing expedition and just picking on matters that are even happening and adding it to his so-called, business allegations or accusations that he is doing.
Okay, so
having said that, the matter of he picking intelligence on something that the international community come in, we don't even need the international community to come in. Because the president of the land had already spoken. Immediately he made this allegation.
Okay.
Asking that the appropriate steps should be taken. Okay. You are the one making the allegation. You said you suspect something. On suspicion, you give the people or the person or that suspicious act to the appropriate institution, be it the police or whoever. This is what I have. Take it and work on it. And reasonably, that institution, even if it's not within their ambit, they will refer it to the appropriate institution who has the mandate to work on such, intel or suspicious or whatever act, and then they will go ahead and then investigate it. Where there's a need to make any arrest, we go ahead and arrest. Okay. But you didn't do any of these things. You chose a different avenue to go and do.
Let's pause on Rev.Ntim Fordjour for a second. So in March alone, March 18th, we had this 2.1 million Nigerian guy.
That's the Nigerian guy, yeah.
And then on the 4th of March, there was one bus, which you say it is the work of the NIB and has nothing to do with the Central Region one. Now, if we are seeing these busts coming into the public domain, and these are hard drugs, cocaine, that we are talking about, does it make any sense that there may be reasonable chance that we are returning back to that place where Ghana was known as a, I don't want to use the word the cocaine coast the way people are saying it, but are we having a cocaine problem, a drug problem? Do you think we're getting there?
No, but you see...
and this is just March. Look at the number of busts, the quantity of drugs that have come into the country.
I've just quoted your own news, your own institution's website, telling you what the British ambassador or high commissioner to Ghana said regarding drug dealings in 2022, when Ntim Fordjour's party was in government. So if there is anything to be worried about, we should have been worried from 2020, not today. Today, you are hearing these things because we have decided that anything that we get, we will not hide it from Ghanaians like they were doing. We will make it known to Ghanaians for them to see the work that we are doing. This Nigerian thing, we arrested it. We used a whole day, from morning to about 5 p.m. before we brought him to the office, searching, moving from one house to the other. We could have decided to hide it from the public. But no, we know that we are representing the people. And for that reason, they must know the work that we are doing. And then,
it wouldn't even augur well for you because you came to office on the back of accountability, transparency, and all that. The question I'm asking you is, in the face of all these, do we have a drug problem?
We don't have a drug problem, but it tells you that we are working.
You are working.
Exactly. If you are not working, you wouldn't be hearing this.
But they keep coming into the country.
But robberies and every other crime is still in the country. People are still stealing. There are laws against stealing.
Right.
There are laws against assault. But every now and then we are getting an assault case. There are laws against selling of red.
So what proactive...
It's prohibited, but people are still doing it.
Great. So that's like reactive. It comes in, you intercept. What proactive measures are you putting in place? The proactive measures is that
our men are all over. That is why when we intercepted at the port, at the Tema port, we didn't even allow it to cross, even though they said it was going to Niger. We said, no, it will not go. We have seized it. That is a proactive measure. We didn't allow it to get to Niger, find a different mode of entering back into Ghana before we come and arrest you. We will not even allow the thing to cross. The 350 million one was coming to Accra. It was destined to come to Accra. We didn't allow it to get to Accra. We got to in the middle of the way. That is proactiveness.
Okay, so, and indeed that proactivity would be essential because, again, if you go back to the BBC Africa Eye investigation, some countries have said that Ghana, in some ways, is used as a conduit for these, the Tafadals and the rest, and then they are shipped from there to Nigeria and other places, and those come through the ports, right? But let me go back to Ntim Fordjour a bit. I have one of those commenting saying, Ghana is a joke. You're here ranting instead of picking him, that is Ntim Fordjour, to provide evidence and all of that. I just want to break it down here. We have a Whistleblower Act. Act 720/2006. It reminds me of Edward Snowden and what he did and the consequences he faced. What does it say about whistleblowing and maybe the actions of Rev.Ntim Fordjour, as far as you know it?
My brother, you getting to know something and then exposing it is good. Because, like I said, we are not God to know everything that is happening at every corner of this country, Ghana. We can't see everything. So definitely, people will always have some information that you may not have. They walk to you. Police and every other institution, you have informants who will be hearing things or seeing things. They walk to you in secret, come and expose or release all those.
Even as a media person, there are people who call.
Exactly. So it is not wrong if you are doing this or if you get intel or information about certain things, ill behaviors or actions, and then you report or relate with the appropriate institutions. The only worry is what I've mentioned earlier. That's how you did it. Whatever you were saying is illegal, it's wrong, it's against the law. Money laundering is against the law. Cocaine dealings or whatever is against the law. The act is here. Okay? So whenever you hear or you see these things, the appropriate thing is to get the people who are involved arrested and prosecuted. But the mode that you use in communicating this, my question is very simple. Again, do you think those people that you are alleging that they did that are still sitting or sleeping in their rooms waiting for us to come and arrest them? Based on this noise that you keep on making.
So you keep pointing to the fact that he would have compromised, even if there were any such instance, he would have compromised whatever evidence there was. Which brings me to my next question, because I have heard the Deputy AG, for example, Justice Shrimps, talk about certain allegations that are made by, minority leader, among others, from time to time. You remember when there was a visit to the house of the former governor of the central bank and the allegations on the back of these. The person makes the comment that if it were an ordinary Ghanaian, you see, that I'm coming back to that.
Yeah.
What is it? There's a burden of proof, right? What is the burden of proof in this instance legally?
Okay.
And if someone like an MP is not able to meet the burden of proof, then what? Is it that, or no, MP, and so men
Okay, I agree. I have something that I used to say that they say equality before the law, but it's not. It's in practical sense, it's not really the case, because not every. It's not really the case, because it's not every other Ghanaian that has that kind of immunity or whatever that the members of parliament have. You understand? But they have it. But we who send them or ask them to go and represent us there, we don't have that kind of immunity. So that brings, that answers the point that we are not really all equal before the law. But that's just by the way. Now, the burden of proof matter. It's indeed true that the burden of proof is on the one who is accusing.
You are
of course. Because, for instance, if the Attorney General goes to court to go and prosecute someone for stealing, the burden of proof is not on the one that you said has stolen. It's on you who is saying that he has stolen. You have to, that is what they say, that prove beyond reasonable that indeed this person stole this iPhone. So the burden of proof is on Ntim Fordjour. And that is why I wish that he had done the reasonable thing and not what he is doing.
Right. Let's be fair. To say reasonable, obviously he felt that was reasonable.
It's not.
So let's be reasonable. Let's be fair to him, actually. But in that regard,
I like him. I'm just trying to be very cautious with my words and not to be too harsh on him.
Since the word arrest and all of that has come in, he's a member of parliament. He has his privileges, but no one, not even the president, is above the law. So what happens? I'm just trying to push to find out what happens. Or is it that if a certain category of person says something, does something, it's okay. But if the ordinary man does something, there will be... What happens now?
Oh, what I've told you now, is that we are supposed to be doing investigations on the matter. He is supposed to give us information that we need. What we saw rather was a letter that he was asking that we, when I say we, I mean NACOC and other BNI and co, we should appear before his committee and rather come and give them updates instead of he coming to us. That is the letter that he wrote, asking his chairman that the chairman should invite us to appear before them and come and give them information on the three things, the central region cocaine. There was the first one, I've forgotten that one. But the second,
Pedu Junction.
No, yeah,
the Nigerian guy, 2.1 billion.
No, the three.
We have the 350 million.
He mentioned that.
2.1 million.
No, 1 second, sorry.
He
mentioned three things. He said, okay, the letter is here. The first point is that, okay, so the supplement action,
okay.
Yeah, so that was done.
Right.
Yeah, he wants us to come and give them an update on that. The second one is the 350 million one. And then the third one is the aircraft.
Okay, yeah.
So he wanted us to come and give them update on these things instead of he coming to give us the intel or the information that he has on especially this aircraft matter that we are
talking about. Saying,
so if
Mohammed will not go to the mountain.
Yeah, the mountain go to, so I was just coming to that. Once he is failing and once he has said on other platforms that he will not appear before us, he will leave us with no option than to, strike the law.
Is that in the works?
In that what?
Is that?
The worst case scenario, that's what we do.
Is that move in the works? Are you seeing that since because he said, I will not come?
Yes, he has said this.
Sweetie, but he said that I will not come.
So if
I just want to...
Especially if your force is applied, my brother.
So especially where, and my apologies, especially where he is saying now that he has more that he'll be putting out into the public.
We are waiting for that.
If he doesn't do that, what then happens?
If he doesn't put out more in the public.
Yeah.
We are not even asking to put out any information to the public. So that one is up to him. If you put more, it's your own problem. If you don't put more, it's your own problem.
From the standpoint of misinformation.
I get you, but that is why it's not every action that you put up that you are very conscious that this is not against the law. There are those that you will do that at the blind side of you, it's against the law, but you are not aware. Until you are, the law is being read to you that, hey, this thing that you did is against ABCD. He thinks that everything that he's doing, he has a right to do it. But let me tell you, even the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution, none of them is absolute.
Yeah, rights come with responsibilities. Okay, you go ahead.
Ben,
go ahead.
Because I was hoping to move away from here.
You're moving away.
Yeah.
Then let me just ask you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cocaine.
I like the way you are making me turn left and right.
It's good. We've sandwiched you. The cocaine, the money, fake money, and all of that. Where are they?
The supplement
all of
one.
them that we've seen in recent.
Well, that one.
Where are they now?
The supplement one was. It was done by the National Security. So as it were, they have their own investigative team that their investigations for them.
With the intelligence you have, do you know where some of this is?
Some of what?
I mean, the contraband, basically, the fake money and the...
Oh, but we don't handle those things, so I cannot speak to those things. But I know that the arrest was done by national security, so they are handling them.
That's why I said that per your intelligence, you work with these institutions.
Oh, but I mean...
You know.
No, I understand your work so much. I know what you are trying to get. But this one, you try to save me in a way, in that I don't want to give you every information. What I know is that, national security is the one who went to arrest or did the raid at the Sapperman, around Amasaman area or something. And they are the one doing the investigations. It's not within my area.
And all of this is intact. Nothing will turn to Kukunte, right? All of this is intact, right?
Well, the cocaine that are in my possession are not taken to Kukunte. So that one I know.
That reminds me, it's not my main question to you, but do you think that banning marijuana and cocaine, do you think that's the right approach? The last time Latif
the distraction thing that
last year, you saw Latif was at the ground when we were banning. I mean, this is herbs, marijuana. Aren't you all going to get high eventually and stumble and fall somewhere? Is that the best approach to destroying narcotics?
To the best of my knowledge, those who have been there seeing the distraction have never fallen because of it.
How would they know?
Have you been there before?
Oh, I haven't. But
did you get high?
Oh. There was one that they did, I think last week or so, if I'm right. I think last week they did one, because I saw a memo on it. I wish I had gotten time, but we had a lot of engagement, so I couldn't go there. But some of these things, as a deputy director general who's in charge of more or less of operations in general, I always want to get some kind of experience with this thing. So one day I'll be there to see how they do this.
You want to witness the
yes, I want to
inhale this.
Oh no, I'm not going to.
Right. I know we started by mentioning it, but I'm very interested in this RED and abusing of it. I know that the Ministry of Youth and Development launched RED Means Stop, an initiative.
I was there that day. Yeah.
Great. How crucial is the abuse, and really, what are the steps? Be as specific as possible. The steps that you're taking to ensure that we nip this drug abuse menace in the bud, and specifically on tramadol and the related drugs.
So, first, tramadol is permissible to use, but only with the 50 and 100 mg maximum. Anything beyond that is unlawful or is illegal.
Yes.
Now, what we are doing is that we have our men across the country who are day in and day out doing investigations or picking intel on people who have opened licensed chemical shops or drug stores over the counter and those things, who are selling these things. Like I said, just about a week ago, we picked an intel from Western North region, a gentleman or a shop which was trading in that. Immediately, I dispatched, or by the directive of the Director General, we dispatched a team from Accra here, all the way to Western North. It was a Sunday. They went to arrest the person, brought them back. The owner plus the attendant were all arrested and brought to Accra. They were granted bail some few days ago pending, court. So it's one step that we are also putting up. There are other intels that we have for other regions as well, which I will not mention, because if I do, they will also be on alert. But we have it all the way back down here in Accra that we are going to strike on them as well to also get them arrested. And you know, one funny thing is that because they know it's illegal, do you know they don't display them on counter? This very one that we went to arrest, it was in a bag. It's being kept in a bag in the shop.
Yeah.
So it tells you that the person trading in it knows very well that whatever I'm doing is not right. Yet
Sometimes the Pharmaceutical Association, they send inspectors round to, so obviously they wouldn't display.
They wouldn't see it. They wouldn't see it. They don't display. They keep them in the bag. This one that we arrested, it was in a bag, in the shop. But our men had already gone there and picked the intel already, so we knew what we were going for. So even though it's not on display, we know that this particular shop does this. And indeed, when we got there that day and arrested the attendant alongside the owner who was in his house that day, went to arrest him also. We got that bag and found out that indeed there were some red tablets in it.
How do you measure impact? Maybe this is my last question.
Okay.
How do you measure the impact of your operations? If, for example, we were at 100% in terms of drug abuse, particularly RED and related tramadol and the rest, based on these initiatives and intel and all that you're doing, has it come down? Have we seen a reduction so far?
Oh, we have not conducted any kind of statistics or survey on that to be able to ascertain whether or not it's coming down. But I know that the very program that you mentioned, which was led by the Youth Development Ministry, Opare made it known to me that but you want us to be approaching the units or the other tertiary institutions, because we reckon that it's the youth that are engaging themselves in this more. So we'll be taking the education and other things to them, to their doorsteps. On the other hand, also, NACOC as an institution, we have also commenced our media educations. I know very well that even yesterday they were on UTV in the morning to do some kind of education. We'll be happy if you also give us some slot or some time to come in and also do it with you.
Right. Ben.
Just two final bits. That video you showed me.
Yeah.
Did you take it on your phone?
Yeah, my own phone.
You took it on your
phone? Yeah, myself. It's not sent. I don't have any social media on that.
Can you show me that video again? I just want to look at the date, stamp on it, and find out what exactly. Just to.
I understand you. Don't worry.
Our viewers don't have the benefit of seeing it. So this is the 16th of March. Okay, and let me just cross-check. Backroom team, if you can help me here, the date when Ntim Fordjour made this claim. Just to clarify. Actually, I'm doing that. It was an oversight. One of our viewers actually prompted me that I should check with you on the date stamp. So let's see. We do know that the claim was made recently. So it's been just about what? A week plus, right?
Yeah, a little over a week.
A little over a week. So if you look at this,
what
March I'm not getting the exact.
I'll get it for you.
Don't worry, I'll get it for you. But this was what, the 16th of March, which means that
I think I resumed on the 14th or so. Yeah.
Today is the 8th day of April, which means even if you go back, it would definitely be at the very tail end of March. And you have this, which is dated the 16th of March.
Like I said, I resumed on Friday. I think that Friday, if I'm correct, was 14th. It was the weekend of that Friday that I resumed.
So basically 2 days after that.
We did, we did it, yeah.
This happened. Okay, so that clarifies that indeed this was taken before these allegations.
Oh, of course. Like I said, it's before, yeah.
Right.
It's before.
Just to conclude the conversation, so moving forward, what's the strategy?
I will advise my good friend and brother that he should cooperate with us if he really wants us to get to the root of this matter. First of all, to apprehend or arrest any other person that is involved in his so-called suspicious act. He should cooperate with us, the security institutions or agencies, to make sure that we get the appropriate or the required or the right informations and then act on it. It's different where you've given to us and we are failing to act. Unlike where you have failed to give us the requisite information, but rather throwing it in the air, giving information to the supposed suspects that you think we should be going after, prompting them on what is happening, giving them the opportunity to even abscond. Yet you are still saying that you want government to investigate. How do you want that to investigate when you keep on exposing things that the so-called people that we are supposed to go and investigate will get to know and then abscond?
And if he doesn't?
If he doesn't, the appropriate action will be taken. I've told you. There are several options to go for.
Will he be arrested?
There are several options to go for. It's one of the options.
It's one of the options.
Yeah.
Again, I'm looking at the presidency's response on the allegations of suspicious flights. That's from 7 days ago. So that also corroborates the timestamps, which will tell you that these allegations from just over a week ago, which means that it couldn't have been anywhere close to this time, the 16th of March, when this video was actually...
And you see, I can even show you to confirm yourself that I don't have WhatsApp and those things on this phone. So it's not like somebody took it and then sent it to me and I said, no, I took it myself. So if you go to the video's point of, and if you know your iPhone, you can always check even the timing and everything that I took the video.
I have seen, yeah. I saw the date on
exactly. So
on the video.
It's not a lie.
Which means
I will not lie for anything.
Anyway, sweetie, it's been good having you.
Yes.
And we can only wish you the very best.
Thank you, my brother.
Keep busting and keep ensuring that you do the right thing.
Of course.
No cookie affairs.
But I mean, while we have you here,
the busting will keep on. I mean, it's something that, in fact, my general or my boss, the director general, will always tell him that keep arresting. In fact, he said his words. Let me just quote him. He said, "Any week that ends without we arresting or making news, I get sick." So the arrest, we will keep on making more arrests. Once we get the information and our intel, we establish that it's true. We always strike, and then once we arrest you, we will not keep you guys in the dark.
keep our streets safe.
I want to give you the opportunity to speak to the young people watching, because as part of the things on your website, you talk about no discrimination, the youth need help and all that. So what's the message? Because you are representing the narcotic.
Yes, the youth need help. Those who have taken the various drugs and they've gotten to the point, as someone would say, the point of no return. What we do is to take them to some kind of rehabilitation. We assist in that form. We, on our part, to educate those who have started. That is dangerous. Avoid it or disease yourself from getting involved in these things, because it will destroy you. In fact, from all videos, pictures, and everything that I've seen, I've not seen one of those people or those young men and women who have been engaging themselves in this who is looking good or who is looking nice. Nobody. I've not seen any. All that we see are those that they get. There was one that I even saw just about a week ago. The person almost fell in some soup. Yeah. Why will you kill yourself because of illicit drugs? It's going to damage you. It's going to destroy you.
Right.
You can be a future president tomorrow. You can be a future minister. You can be a future director general or deputy director general of Narcotics Control Commission. So if you don't stop this, that opportunity for you to become that big person tomorrow will not be available for you.
Okay.
So we are only asking them that they should do all that they can. And because even the sellers know that the thing that they are doing is wrong, that's why they can even display it on their own counter. For you to be bold and walking and point to that I want this kind of drug. But they're hiding it. That alone speaks to the fact that it's wrong. So don't go into it.
Okay. Last clarity. This rehabilitation you talk about,
yes.
is it sponsored by your outfits or they have to pay for it themselves?
Oh, no, we do it.
You do. So it's free.
We do it. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much. Lawyer. Is it Elvis Twum Barimah?
Alexander.
Oh, Alexander.
You have given me a new name.
Yeah. So I'll call you Elvis now. He's Deputy Director, Narcotics Control Commission, and he joined us to put all the issues in perspective. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm grateful.
And before we go, Ghana, let's talk about water tanks, because you do know the secret to real water storage. It's simple. If you don't have the tortoise on your tank, it's not the correct tank. That's right. The tortoise tank, Sintex tank, is a champion of water tanks. It is strong and durable and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. So whether rain or shine, Sintex tank has got your back. So my people, go outside, check your tank, and if it doesn't have the tortoise on it, it's time to upgrade. Join the Sintex tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. Call this number, 0244 335 168. Call this number to buy one or find one of our 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Sintex tank, a strong, a tough. That's not all.
Well, I must ask you, are you ready to dream, dare, and deliver in the world of IT? Then I have good news for you. Look no further than the Jackson Institute of Technology, the only NIIT authorized training center in Ghana. At JIT, we provide world-class training in IT for individuals and corporate organizations, equipping you with industry-relevant skills in software development, cybersecurity, networking, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, digital marketing, and more. But there's still more. We offer globally recognized certifications, practical job-ready training, and flexible hybrid learning options, which allows you to study online or on-site. Our expert instructors ensure hands-on learning experiences that prepare you for success in today's digital world. We are located conveniently on the Ring Road, near Circle, in the heart of Accra's Central Business District, and in Kumasi at the Jackson Educational Complex HQ, Ayediase, near the KNUST. Now, JIT also provides easy access for students and corporate clients, and our state-of-the-art auditorium is also available for corporate events, seminars, and training sessions. All you have to do now, pick up your phone, call or WhatsApp 0596 996 037 or 0596 996 038, or again 0552 714 635, or visit our website www.jit.edu.gh. JIT, your gateway to a thriving IT career. And always remember, the AMShow is proudly sponsored by Waylead Properties. We'll be back after the break to lead the way in the next big story. We'll be right back.